Hey guys, today we'll go over how to solve the Rubik's Cube. I'm gonna go over the 7 steps that are needed in order to solve the Rubik's Cube. So we'll start with the 0 step. So the 0 step for me is just to kind of practice the movements. So for example, this is your Rubik's Cube. Let's see if I can draw one. All right, let's draw a couple lines. So there are a few basic moves that you have to learn. So I'll go with the minimum movements that you need. So first one, we'll call it R. R is actually to rotate the right position of the cube this way. So this is R, to rotate this way. So for example, if the instructions are R, 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 here's your Rubik's Cube. R, R, R would be, there's 1 R, there's 2 R, there's 3 R. So that's your R, and if there's another R, that'd be 4 R's. So here's the 4th R. So this way is R. R, 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 R. All right. So that's pretty simple. And then there's also R prime, which is like the reverse direction of R. So again, we'll draw our cube. Oh, bad drawing. Okay. So we'll call this one R prime. So R prime, it just reverses back the other way. So if the instructions were R prime, then what we would do is with this R prime. So kind of take the right side and reverse it back. Again, if the instructions were R prime would be 4R. So it'd be R prime. Okay. So those are your R's, and then there's also your L's. R stands for right, L stands for left. So all right, so L, so when you have your L kind of goes this way. So this, for me, when I looked at that, it was a little bit confusing, but anyways, just remember that L goes this way. So if the instructions were L, here's your Rubik's Cube. L would be, here's 1L, here's 2L, here's 3 L's. So this is your instructions, L. So L would kind of just be rotating the Rubik's Cube this way. All right, so the next one is L prime. Need some room over here. Let me box these in so we know that they're separate things. Okay. All right. So this is your L prime, and L prime is rotating the cube on the left side this way. So if the instructions were L prime, here's your cube. L prime would be this way and this way. Okay. Again, if it's L prime, well, that's your 2 L prime, you've completed, but just to demonstrate again, L prime. So if the instructions was just 1 L prime, it would be like this, L prime. That's it. All right, so there's that. And another thing would be U. Let's do U and U prime. All right. So for U, it means upper. So when you have these cube, so your U means rotate the cube. Your U means rotate the cube, the upper cube this direction. That way. So if the instruction was U, let's say this is your cube. So if and we take this to be the top side, we take this to be the front side. So if the instructions were U, you would just kind of rotate it that way. So that's one U. So that's your rotation. And if the instructions were U, then you would go 1U, 1U. So that's your instructions. So U, that's it. Okay. So let me just rotate it back, and the next thing is U prime, which is the reverse direction of U. So U prime is still upper, but we're rotating it the top this way. So U prime would be kind of taking it this way, U prime. So if the instruction was U prime, then you would just do U prime. That's your U prime. And the last thing that we need is F, which means the front or forward, however you want to think of it. So you have your F, which means, so you have your cube. So you have your cube, and F means rotate the front. So this is the front, rotate it this way. So if the instruction wasn't one single F, let's say we take the orange side to be the front. If the instruction was F, then we would do this, F. So that's our instruction. F is just to rotate it to the front. And the other one is F prime, which is kind of like the reverse of F. So you basically rotate the front in the opposite direction. All right, so let me put it back for now. All right, so when let's say we take the blue side to be the front, or the orange side to be the front, and if the instructions were F prime, so it basically, so the orange side is the front. F prime would be taking the front, that's a bad, but it's the front direction this way. Front this way. All right, so if it's F prime would be F prime. So that's your two F primes. Again, well, maybe that didn't show much. Maybe I should scramble this up for now. Let me scramble these up in like a random order for now, and then we'll practice over all of these. All right, so these are the only 8 moves that you need to know in order to solve the Rubik's Cube. All right, so if we go over everything again, just for practice, step 0 is just practice before you can even take step 1, right? Because all the steps would just be a bunch of these instructions where you have to follow in order to come up with to solve the cube. Okay, so I've mixed up the cube. So if we were to take step 0, R, we'll be doing this. R, 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 R. And if it's R prime, R prime, R prime, R prime, we'll be doing this. R prime, R prime, R prime, R prime. And if it's U, we would be doing this. U, U. And if it's L, 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 we would be doing this. We take the side as the front. L, L, L. And if the instructions were L prime, L prime, we would be doing this. L prime, L prime. And if the instructions were U prime only, this is the top side, is the front side. So if the instructions were U prime, you would just move the upper side that way. And if the instructions were F, this is the front, this is the top. If the instructions were F, we would just do it this way. And if it was F prime, again, this is the front, we'll be doing it F prime and F prime. So we just need to practice these to have the step 0 down. So all right, let's flip the board and go over the steps to actually solve them. So you got to practice these. You have your R prime, U, L prime, U prime, F, and F prime. All right, guys, let's get started on solving the Rubik's Cube using the 0 step that we learned from the previous steps. All right, so there are 7 steps in order to solve the Rubik's Cube. Step 1 is we're gonna have a goal. Our goal is to have a white cross at the bottom. So what the white cross means, just basically at the bottom of the cube, we want so the center pieces of the cube, the center of the pieces doesn't rotate. So this white is gonna be, we're gonna use this as the bottom, and white cross basically means we want white, 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 and white. And so in order to do that, we're gonna use the yellow as the top and the white as the bottom. So in order to do that, we're just gonna find some white pieces to make to put 4 white pieces here on the top first against the yellow. Let's see. So this there's no specific algorithm in order to do this. We're just gonna find white pieces and then just surround the yellow pieces with them. So let's see, where's the white? Here is a little white piece here. Come around. All right, at the top, here's a little white piece. Okay, so this is partially the first step, but we want the white pieces to be at the bottom. But we need to have it in a specific order where the colors of these two have to be the same before we rotate them down. So if this is white and this is green, so we need to find matching green. Once we find that, we rotate it 180 degrees down. And the same thing with all the other white pieces on the edges. So here's blue, so we need to find a blue. We find a blue and we rotate it 180 degrees down. And this one is orange, it already matches, so we rotate it down. And for the last piece, it's red, so we find a red and we rotate it 180 degrees down. So from there, the white cross is at the bottom, and our 2 of these pieces, they're all the same color because we matched them and we rotated them. So that's our goal. The white cross at the bottom and these 2 pieces matches. So that's the first step. The second step, let's state our goal. our goal is to have all white pieces at the bottom in the corner and all the colors on the bottom row to be the same. So this one is green, so we want these to be all green. This one is red, we want these all red, all blue, and all yellows. So let's state our goal. We want all white pieces at bottom, and then we want our bottom row to have matching colors. All right, so that's our second goal, and we have a couple of algorithms for this. So for in order to put the white pieces here, so this one is white at the bottom, but it's not the right piece because the orange is center, so we want the orange to be here and we want the green to be here. So we need to look for a piece that, for me, what I like to look for is I like to look for the center pieces of these because it doesn't move. So for example, in this one, there's a red piece in the center and a blue piece in the center, and we want the white here. So we need to look for a piece that has red, blue, and white. So here, this is the perfect piece because it has the red, the blue, and the white. So our algorithm for this, if we take the blue face to be the front, let's call this the right side formula. So the right side formula is RU R prime U prime. All right, so using the yellow as the top, the blue as the front, and the white as the bottom, we apply this formula because we want the blue to be here, red to be here, and white to be here, and we found this piece. So we'll do R, U, R prime, U prime. And it's still not what we want, so we keep applying the formula until we have our desired pieces in its place. So R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not there. One more time. R, U, R prime, U prime. So now the blue is here, the red is here, and this is the white piece. So this is the correct piece in this corner. So we're gonna look for the next piece in the next corner. All right, so this piece has green, orange, and white. So we can put this here in this corner. We can use the green as the front and apply the same formula, or we can use the orange at the front and apply a left side formula, which will basically have the same effect. But let me just show you another way to do this. Left side formula. Left side formula is L prime, U prime, L, and U. So if we use the green as the front, we'll apply the right side formula. And if we use the orange as the front, we'll apply the left side formula. So again, yellows are top, whites are bottom, and oranges are front. So left side formula goes like this: L prime, U prime, L, U. Again, it's not the correct piece, so we keep going. L prime, U prime, L, U. L prime, U prime, L, U. So now we see that the orange is here, green is here, white is here. So this is the correct piece now. So we'll look for the next piece. Next piece is blue, orange, and white. So we look for a center with blue, orange, and white. So we put it in the corner of where it should be, blue, orange, and white. So we can either do this and use the left side formula, or use the orange as front and use the right side formula. So I'll use the orange as front this time. So we'll do RU, R prime, U prime. RU, R prime, U prime. Not yet. RU, R prime, U prime. So now we got white, orange, and blue. Last piece, here is this white, red, and green. We look for, here's red, green, and white. All right, so we put the piece in the corner that it should be in, and then we'll apply either side of the formula. We'll do left side formula this time, just for variety. So we'll do L prime, U prime, L, U. So that one time already got us the right color. So here we have all red, all blue, all orange, and all green. And the bottom side is all white. So our second goal has been met. Just remember to apply these two formula. So step 3, our goal is to have a matching second row on step 3. So here we want this to be all orange, all green, all red, and all blue. So let's write our goal down. Our goal is to have all matching colors on second row. Okay, so in order to do that, I like to look for a couple of things. I look at the piece here and the piece on top of it. So let's look at this piece, for example. Here it contains green and orange. What I like to do is I like to line up the green here, so that this in the middle is the same. So we look at the piece up top. The piece on the top is orange, so we look on both sides. This side is red and this side is orange. So this orange is the same as this orange. So we'll apply a right side formula for step 3. So let me write down the right side formula. So right side formula for step 3 is U R prime U prime. And then we rotate the whole cube. Then we rotate the whole cube to the left in order to switch the front to be whatever this color is, and then we'll apply L prime U prime L U. So this is a right side formula for this. So in this case, we match up this here as green. We look at the color on the top. The color on the top is on the right side, so we use the right side formula, which is U R prime U prime. Rotate the cube to the left. So now this one becomes the front, and then we'll do L prime U prime L and U. All right, so now that we've applied that, the orange is here. So we're just working so that all the second row is the same color. All right, let's look for the next piece. So here, we'll use blue as our aligning color again, and then on the top is orange. So in this case, the orange is to the left of the blue. So we'll apply a different formula. We'll apply a left side formula. Left side formula is not L yet. We gotta do. Let me separate these up. U prime, L prime, U prime, L U, and then we're going to rotate the cube to the right. Rotate the cube to the right, and then we'll do R U R prime U prime. So this is the left side formula. So let me kind of draw out a little recap here. Okay. So we will have our cube here. All right. So what we want to do is we want to match these 3 colors, and we'll look at the cube here. And if it matches here, if it's the same color, then we'll use the right side formula. And for the left side formula is similar. Here we'll have our matching cube. All right, and then we'll look at this one. And if this one matches the center piece on the other side, not visible with the drawing, but so if this piece matches this piece, we use the right side formula. But if this piece matches this piece, we'll use the left side formula, which is the case for our case right now. This is our 3. These are 3 matching blue, and our orange piece here matches this orange piece here. So we'll use a left side formula, and then we should apply this now. Let's do it. We'll do u prime, u prime, l prime, u prime, l, u. Rotate the cube to the right, so our orange becomes the front. And we apply ru, r prime, u prime. Okay, so now our orange is the same color, and we'll apply the formula again to the next piece that we see. So now it's blue, but this one is yellow. If it's yellow, we can't really use it because the other side is red, so we'll look for the next piece that we can apply this to. So here's green, but this is yellow, and here's yellow. So when this happens, when we have like a yellow on all the sides, we just need to shuffle it one more time, which is basically apply one of these formula, and then we'll get another piece that we can use. So let's just use the right side formula, for example, because here we have a yellow here, a yellow here, a yellow here, and a yellow here. So we can't really apply this formula anytime. So we'll just go to a random face, and then we'll do one of these formula. I'll apply the right side formula to this one. U, R, U, R prime, U prime. And then rotate the cube to the left, L prime, U prime, L, and U. All right, so here, our whites are still at the bottom. Our bottom row is still the same color. And now we have a face where we can use. Now we have blue here, and we have a red here. So we look, this is not red, and this is red. So the red is on the right side, so we use the right side formula, using our blue as the front initially. So we'll do U, R, U, R prime, U prime. Rotate the cube, the whole cube to the left. We'll do L, U prime, L, U. So now our 2 red is here, 3 green is here. Let's see if we can apply something else right now. So blue, oh, here we have something. We have 3 reds, and the green on the top, and the green is to the right. So again, we can apply the right side formula. U, R prime, U prime. Rotate the cube so this green becomes the front. L prime, U prime, L, and U. So now that we did that, all of our second row matches the color. So that's the goal that we want. All right, let's have a fourth step. The goal of the fourth step is to have a yellow cross on top. Yellow cross on top. Basically like this. Y, 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 Y. So this is our top side, is we're gonna want a yellow cross on the top. In this case, we already have it, but I'm gonna shuffle it and do it again, just because a lot of times when you do it, it's not gonna end up this perfect, and you're not gonna already have a yellow cross on the top. But let me give you the formula to get the yellow cross on the top. Formula is FRU R prime U prime F prime. That's the yellow cross on the top. And the thing to look for for me is to make sure to have these yellow in like a horizontal line, and apply it here using yellow as the top and using one of the face as the front. So let me just apply it here so that we kind of mix up the yellow not to be the top a little bit, and then we'll show how the formula works. So we'll just apply this formula. F R U R prime U prime F prime. All right, so at least this kind of messes it up a little bit. The bottom 2 rows are still the same. The whites is still at the bottom, but now we don't have a yellow on the top. So we can try to get the yellow at the top. We'll just do F R U R prime U prime F prime. All right, so now we still don't have the yellow cross, but like I said, what I like to do in this case is to have the yellow here lined up in this way. So if you were holding it this way, I would turn it this way so that the yellow is kind of horizontal based on where I'm looking. So we'll apply the formula again, the same formula. There's only one formula in this step. F R U R prime U prime F prime. All right, so when we do that, we have a yellow cross on the top. These sides doesn't really matter for now, but the main thing is this just an accident? But these are the 4 pieces that you care about. These pieces in the corners can be any color. So now we have our yellow cross on the top. All right, let's go to the 5th step. Use the next page here. All right, step 5. We're gonna state our goal. So our goal for step 5 is to have matching colors here. So this is green. We want this to be green. We want this to be red. We want this to be blue, and we want this to be orange. So our goal is to match, let's call it match second column colors. So in our, since we were calling these rows, I'll call these columns. So we're gonna want to match all the second column colors. So the formula for this 5th step is RU R prime U, and then R U prime U prime R prime. And the key thing to look for, let me write down the key. This threw me off sometime, but the key thing to look for is to make sure to only have one matching column when you apply this formula, because when you have 2, sometimes the formula doesn't work right away. So the key is to have only one matching column initially. I haven't done this for too long, but I feel like this is a very important thing to have. Only one matching column initially. So we'll apply this formula, and then we'll play with this for a little bit more and see how it works. So RU, actually let me reverse it back just to kind of make sure that we know that the yellow is still the top, white is still the bottom, and none of these columns are matching so far. So we use the side that has a matching column to be the front. So we'll do RU R prime U R U prime U prime, and then R prime. So when we do this, all the colors will match. So let me mess it up one more time. That was a little bit quick. RU R prime U R U prime U prime R. All right, so let me apply it to another side. So if we do, all right, R U R prime, sorry, U R U prime U prime R prime. All right, so when we do this, 2 of the sides are matching, the green side and the blue side. So when 2 of the sides are matching, if you apply the formula, it's not gonna work from my experience. So RU R prime U R U prime U prime R prime. So see, the blue still matches, the red still matches, and these still don't match. So let's say we apply it one more time. RU R prime U R U prime U prime R prime. See, so when we keep applying this, it still doesn't match. So what I like to do is go to like a random phase and then just apply that formula. RU R prime U R U prime U prime R. So now none of the phase matches. So we'll turn it around, and then I guess this one it already matches. So okay, so I won't belabor this too much anymore, but just keep this formula in mind. It's just the same formula in order to have these all these be the same color. RU, R prime, U, R, U prime, U prime, R, in order to get all of these second columns to be the same. All right, let's go on to the sixth step. The sixth step, we have also a goal. Let me try to describe this. A goal in the sixth step is to have these colors in the corner be the right neighboring colors. Not even sure how to write it. So for example, if you look at the top pieces, you have your red, green, and yellow. You don't need these to be exactly red, green, and yellow, but you just need them to be like the red can be here, the green can be here, the yellow can be here. Like, so this one we need orange, green, and yellow, but this is not orange, green, and yellow. And in this corner we need blue, orange, and yellow, and we have green, orange, and yellow, and so on and so forth. So we just need these three colors to be in the right corner. So let's try to write that. Let's see. Three-sided corner on top. Three-sided corner on top, same as neighboring color. Neighboring colors. So let me draw this out. Maybe this will help. Maybe it won't. All right. Okay, so in our case right now, all the steps that we took so far, what we know is we have all yellow colors up here, and we have these colors, let's call them C, to be the same, and we'll call this side A, just as a representation of a color. We don't really care what it is. But all the sides, in our case so far, if we went through the 5 steps so far, this is what we're gonna see. Y, C, 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 A. So in this piece right here, that we're looking at, this piece here, let's just make it known that it's this piece. This can either be, this side can either be C or Y or A. And same thing here, this can either be C or Y or A. This can be C or Y or A. So we just want them in the right position. It doesn't necessarily have to be like all matching yellow or matching green or red or anything like that. We just want them in the right position. So let's go over the formula, then we can see how it works. So the formula for this one is U R U prime L prime, U R prime U prime L. So that's the formula for that. And the key for this, for me, the thing to look for is have a correct piece as top right corner. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say there's no correct piece right now. Let's say there's no correct piece right now. I want the correct piece to be here, using this as the top, as the front, and as the bottom. So I want the correct piece to be here, and then I'll apply this formula, U R U prime L prime, U R prime U prime L, using this as the front. So whichever one has the right corner, we'll apply that as the front. So in our case, I have this piece here as the correct piece. It doesn't necessarily, again, it could be green here and red here, or green here, yellow here, red here. Like, we can We can apply that, but we gotta use this as the front. So we'll just go ahead and apply that. U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. So when we apply that, this piece is still not correct, so we keep going. U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. All right, so we have green, red, yellow, and now we have red, blue, and yellow, which is what we want. We have orange, blue, and yellow. We have orange, green, and yellow, which is exactly what we want, that all the corners are in its correct piece, are in its correct places. So some are in exactly correct place, but some are not, which is fine. The 7th step is gonna is the one where we ultimately solve the cube. So the 7th step, the goal is to match all yellow colors on top side. So the formula for this is U R prime U prime R. And then the key for this, the thing to do is make sure to use the yellow face as front. So in all our steps so far, we use the yellow to be the top reference point, but in our case right now, we use yellow to be the front. So some other side can be the top, and some other side can be the bottom. So now in our case, yellow's the top. All right, so what we want to do is put a corner that is not yellow, and then apply this formula. U R prime U prime R. And we keep applying this formula until we get a yellow piece on the top. So U R prime U prime R. Still not yellow, so we keep going. U R prime U prime R. Keep going. U R prime U prime R. So now it's yellow, and this is another key point. So we don't want to rotate the whole cube this way. Now we want to do F. So we keep rotating only the front face, not the whole cube. Again, very key. Only the front face, so that the non-yellow piece will be in the top right corner. I'll write this down. After solving top yellow corner, if there are more non-yellow pieces, use F. Use F only once, and then use F, and then we'll apply the same formula. U R prime U prime R. So we'll do we'll apply U. So now we rotated with the front, so it was like this maybe, and then we rotated with F. Rotate with F as many times as you like, so it's not just one F. Rotate with F until you get the non-yellow piece in the corner, and then we'll apply the formula. U R prime U prime R. U R prime U prime R. So once we do that, all the yellow pieces is at the front. Now we just need to rotate these to match its color. So now it's all the colors now are the way that it's intended to be. So essentially within these 7 steps, we've solved the Rubik's Cube. So that was a quick step-by-step. So that's how we solve the Rubik's Cube. And now I guess we can go through all of these one more time to kind of just go over our whole example. So let me shuffle these and then we can just go over all the steps one more time. This time it will be a little bit quicker. It won't be like a walkthrough, just so we can kind of see like an example. So let me shuffle them up randomly somehow so that they are not really like matching. All right, I think that should be okay. It shouldn't even matter which one, but all right. So let's go through the steps. Step 1, white cross at the bottom. We want the white here, so we need white pieces up here. So do this again. For me, I don't know if there's an algorithm for this, but I feel like it's easy enough to just have white pieces here, and then again we need to match up these before we rotate them 180 degrees. Match up the orange, rotate 180. Match up the blue, rotate it 180. Match up the red here, rotate it 180. Again, now we have the white at the bottom. So now step 2, all white pieces at the bottom and bottom rows have the same matching color. So again, I look for these pieces, blue, orange, and white. So I look for this side, have blue, orange, and white. So using this as the front, we'll use the left-hand side formula. L prime, U prime, L, U. Oops, that already matches. Look for the next piece. There's a piece here at the bottom. To get it to the top, you just apply one of the formula. I apply RU, R prime, U prime. So now we find a piece that contains red, green, and white. So here's red, green, and white again. So here we'll do the right side formula this time. Oops, that's a U first. We gotta do R first. RU, R prime, U prime. So that piece matches now. Now we find green, orange, and white. Here's green, orange, and white. Use the same. RU, R prime, U prime. 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 All right, now we just need one more corner. All right, RU, R prime, U prime. Now all the colors already match. White on the bottom, all the colors here. Now the third step, look for these. This is blue, red on top, red is on the right. We'll use the right side formula. U, R, U, R prime, U prime. Rotate cube to the left. L prime, U prime, L, U. This is the matching color, what we want. Go to the next step. Blue here, orange is here. Use the left side formula. U prime, L prime, U prime, L, U. Rotate cube to the right. R, U, R prime, U prime. All right, this orange is here. Next piece, they're all yellow now, so we apply one of these formula. So U, R prime, U prime. All right, let's see. Okay, so this helps us out a little bit. Now we can try to solve for this piece, having this. So apply the left side formula. U prime, L prime, U prime, L, U. Rotate the cube to the right. R, U, R prime, U prime. All right, red, blue, orange. Oh, we need one more. We need this piece. Okay, so we have matching orange and a green here. So left side formula again. U prime, L prime, U prime, L, U. Rotate the cube to the right. R, U, R prime, U prime. Okay, so all the colors now are matching. So now we want the yellow cross on the top. Again, like I said, I like to have this one here horizontal. So we'll apply F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Okay, now we have our yellow cross on the top, and all the steps so far are still intact. Flip our board. Oh, let's see. Step 5. Okay. What's our goal? Matching this color rows. All right. So I'll just do a, because to have one matching column initially, now we have two. So I gotta do this formula a couple times. RU, R prime, U. R, U prime, U prime, R prime. And then rotate it. So now I have all the rows are matching. So now our sixth step is to have the same neighboring corners. So same neighboring corners. Again, this is the matching neighboring corner. So we'll apply our formula using this corner as the top right piece. U R, U prime, L prime. U R prime, U prime, L. Let's see if it already gives me the matching colors. Green, red, blue, okay. Blue, orange, green, orange. All right, that was easy. It already found the colors. So now our step 7 is we do U, R prime, U prime, R. 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 So now it matches. We do an F to rotate. Again, only this here, so not the whole cube, but F. Again, same formula. U, R prime, U prime, R. 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 Okay, last one. Rotate with F again. U, R prime, U prime, R. 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 Matching top side. There we go. Now we have matching on all the sides. So again, if you follow those steps, those 7 steps, you should be able to solve a Rubik's Cube. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.